गंधार्पिक गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शतशिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupada Shuttara Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupada Shuttara Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupada Shuttara Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति बलभतीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद श्री भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जय। स्वपार्षद श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय श्री श्रील बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्राय की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोसाई पाद की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंद आदि श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौड़ मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय। All the kirtans of Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, so we will recite the Mangala Charan. 1 second. There. अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो गौरीयगुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभातगगने योगोरसङ्कीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवनिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुताब्दिगाहनसुखं प्रादात् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भवगौरगदाधरपक्षचर शृणु गौरगदाधर चारुकथं भज गोद्रुमकानन कुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवी त्वां नयमां चरणान्तिकं भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Niloy Prabhu, Champak Mataji, and Ganga Mataji, Vrajakishori Mataji, Pramila Didi, and I see there are 7 people on YouTube and Facebook right now. If you write a comment, I'll see who you are. I'll see your name. I'm guessing Indira Mataji and Raseshwari Mataji are there. Also, pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Vallabha Didi, Ananda Pradayani Didi, Anuradha Mataji, Vrinda Didi, Krishna Mai Didi, Madan Gopal Prabhu, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. So we are continuing on with our program, our Bhaktivinoda Daily Giti Bhaktivinoda Dhara program, we're beginning from the platform, where the entrance onto the path of bhakti, which is Śaraṇāgati. And so far we went through the introduction song, which gives a synopsis of Śaraṇāgati and the process how to enter. The Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur shows us how to enter into this process of Śaraṇāgati by taking hold of the feet of Rupa and Sanatan and with straw in your teeth and begging them, crying and begging them, please teach me this Śaraṇāgati. I'm fully dependent on the mercy of my Guru Varga. Otherwise, there's no chance of me being able to even begin to enter this path of Śaraṇāgati. So I'm 100% dependent on you. And in that mood of humility, then we begin. And we went through the first song of Dainya, which is humility. But yes, and as we know, we went through all the definitions of these 6 angas of Śaraṇāgati that Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj gave us in his Prapanna Jivanamrita. So I'll just go through it again. So we'll go through the definition of Karpanya or Danya, humility. So Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj says, Bhagavan Raksha Rakshaivam Artha Bhavena Sarvata Asamordva daya sindor hare karpanya vaibhavam smaratankscha visheshena nirjati shochanichitang bhaktanam artabhavastu karpanyam katyate budhai. So the meaning of the precise definition of humility, according to Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, is the devotee, he prays to Bhagavan. He says, "Oh Bhagavan, Raksha, Raksha, please save me, please protect me. I'm fully dependent on you." And then, so that he's praying like this, Artha Bhavina, with this intense mood of this like heartbreak, intense anguish, and sarvata. He's like with all his body, mind, heart. He's fully praying like this. It's not they're not superficial prayers, but sarvata in all respects. He's praying like this, and then what's next? And he's remembering that Lord Hari, who he's remembering the power of Hari's the Vaibhav. That means the glory and the power of his karunya, of his compassion. That Hari who is an asamordva dayasindor, who is an unequaled and unsurpassed ocean of compassion. And then what's after that? And then he's remember Visheshan, how in particular, I am, he's remembering his own nijati shocha nichitam. Nija means his own, ati means extremely, shocha means lamentable, pathetic, sorrowful, nichitam, fallenness, his fallen condition. And so, bhaktanam artha bhavastu. This heartbreak or this intense anguish of the devotees, bhaktanam means of the devotees, is called karpanya. Karpanya katate budhai. This is described as karpanya budhai, by the wise. So that is the definition. What was it? Is three things or four things? First thing is he's calling out to Bhagavan, "Oh Bhagavan, protect me, protect me, protect me," in that mood of anguish. So that's first thing. Then what's next? And he's remembering how the supreme glory of Bhagavan's compassion, that Bhagavan who's an ocean of unequaled ocean of compassion. So that's two, he's remembering that. And then the third thing is he remembers his own sorrowful, lamentable lowliness. So that's the third thing. So these three things, this is what is called humility by the wise. So the first song of Dainya, of this humility, is Bhuliya Tomare Sangsare Asya. And so you see, the real humility comes when we have a direct connection with Bhagavan, when we have a very personal relationship with dialogue with Bhagavan. We're opening everything up to him. It's if there isn't that sambandha there, then it's not actual real humility. It might be like other negative things like self-loathing and just whatever, like indulging in your own, "Oh, I'm so bad," blah, blah, but that's not actual Vaishnav humility. Vaishnav humility only arises in relation to the Lord. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj he would explain a lot about how Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes all these very intense like these intense prayers of humility, like how I'm even more lower than Jagai and Madai. Anyone who even says my name, they get sin just by thinking of me. And he has all these like prayers. And so Srila Bharati Maharaj would say, is he actually like, is this genuine? Like, is he really so fallen? And but he actually feels like this deeply. And why is that? Because his focus is always on the six Goswamis, Rupa and Sanatan, and he's looking at their glory, and he's looking up like the mountain of their glory. And if you're before a humongous mountain, automatically you feel yourself like you're nothing. Like you realize how tiny and insignificant you are. I hear like people who go to outer space, they see planet Earth, all of a sudden they realize how small our existence is in comparison to everything else. Like the real humility comes when our attention is on Bhagavan's eternal associates, on our Guru Parampara. The more we're connected with them, the more small and low we feel ourselves. And so, yeah. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he goes through and explains he's opening up and telling his whole life from even before he was born till the very end of his life. He goes through his entire life and he sees how never in my life, I've always, from the very beginning till the very end, I've always had a chance to serve you, but I've never even once tried to serve you. I've only been absorbed in um, yeah, he goes through his whole life talking about all the different things he's absorbed in other than serving Bhagavan. And now at the end of my life, I'm I'm extremely feeble. I have no energy, and I'm crying at your lotus feet. What's going to be my fate now? Now that throughout my whole life I never worshipped you, and now in my old age, I have all these bad habits. I have all this bodily pain. I have no energy, no memory, no anything. And with all of this, how will I ever be able to serve you? What's going to be my destination? And so, in the second to the last verse, he he says, Vidyāra Gaurave Brahmi Deshe Deshe. So when he grew older into, becoming a young, well, actually, with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as we were reading, when he was at the age of 11, he was already, actually, even before that, he's writing poetry about and then he started writing for this magazine when he's just a little bit older. His maternal uncle, Kashi Prasad Ghosh, saw this potential in him. Wow, he's such a brilliant boy. And so then he convinced his mother to bring him to Kolkata and to pursue his studies. And so he's saying, Vidyāra Gaurave, then proud of my learning. Brahmi Deshe Deshe. I started to go to different places and I started to collect money. Dhana Uparjana Kori. And all my energy was Swajana Palan Kori Ekamane. I was fully absorbed just in maintaining my family. And Bhulinu Tomare Hari. And in this way, I completely forgot about you, O Hari. And so then the next song picks up from this point, also like going more deep into this Vidya, his studies. And Dandavat Pranams Dri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji, Hari Bol. And Baladev Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So let's go through the song Vidyāra Vilāse. One second, let me just get it up on the screen first. All right. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, well, let's go through the meaning quickly and then I'll go through it a little bit more slowly. So, sure, thanks. Okay, here you go. Vidyāra Vilāse katainu kala parama sahase ami tomar charan na bhajinu kabu ekhon sharana tumi. With great audacity, with sahas. Let's look up the word sahas really quickly. Sahas. Because it can mean bold and sahas. What is it? Boldness, rashness. Yeah. So, oops, I lost my spot. Okay. So, Vidyāra Vilāse katainu kala. Katainu, I've cut all my time. I've wasted all my time in the pleasure and the vilas of vidya, of learning. Parama sahase ami. It's great, uh, with great audacity and this overconfidence, this boldness. And tomar charan na bhojinu kabhu. Ekhon sharanatumi. But never once, na bhojinu kabhu, never did I worship you, your lotus feet, tomar charan. But now, ekon means now, sharan to me. Now you are my refuge. Porite porite bharasha barilo gyane gati habe mani. As I persevered with my studies, porite porite means studying and studying. Bharasha barilo. Then my bharasha means, it can mean my hope, my assurance, my confidence, my like I barilo. It began to increase and increase. And gyane gati habe mani, and I considered, mania means I, having considered gyan to be the ultimate goal, that I'd find fulfillment, the real gati through this gyan. But now, she asha vipal. Now all these hopes and expectations are vipal. They prove to be vipal, completely useless. She gyan durbal. Why? Because this gyan is extremely durbal, completely weak and feeble, has no actual power to it. There's no substance behind it. She gyan agyana jani. Jani means I know now that this she gyan, this gyan is actually agyan. This gyan is ignorance. This next verse here is very famous. You'll hear our acharyas quote this all the time. And I remember reading recently somewhere, can't remember, maybe it was from Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj, or no, where did we read it? Anyways, we read it recently that when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, sorry, when Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, when he established the Thakur Bhaktivinoda Institute, he put this verse in the entranceway so that all the students who were walking in, they would see this verse right here in the school. It said, Jara Vidya Jato Mayar Vaibhav Tomar Bhajane Badha. So Jara Vidya Jata, that means all the mundane materialistic vidya, all the materialistic knowledge that there is, it's all Mayar Vaibhav. It's all just the Vaibhav, the opulence, or the, here he wrote, glittering allure of Maya. And Tomar Bhajane Badha. And it is a badha, it is an obstacle, it's a hindrance, Tomar Bhajane, for worshiping you. Moha janamiya anitya sangsare jiva ke koroye gadha. This jara vidya, this materialistic knowledge, moha janamiya, it spawns delusion. And it spawns a deluding infatuation with this anitya sangsare, with this fleeting world. This everything in this sangsara is completely anitya, temporary. Nothing's permanent here. But it makes you deluded that you think everything is going to be permanent, that you'll be able to enjoy here, that there's, and jiva, and what does this jada vidya do? This materialistic knowledge? Jiva ke koroye gadha. It turns the jiva into a gadha, means a donkey. So, she gadha hoye, having become such a donkey, Sangsarer bhoja, I've borne this load. This bhoja means this load. Bohino means I've carried this load of, actually, I just want to see the word bhoja. I just, why is, one second. Oops. Okay, so bhoja means a burden, load. And bohino means I've I've carried this load, this burden of samsara, anekakal, for an extremely long time. Anekakal. And now, vardhake ekon. Now, in old age, vardhakya means in old age. Ekon. Shaktir abhave. And now devoid of any energy, no shakti. My memory has no, I have no power of my memory. I have no strength in my body. My mind, everything is just completely weak and feeble. So, um, so I'm lacking any kind of strength. Kichu nahi lage bhalo. Now I don't find satisfaction in anything. Nothing appeals to me. Kichu nahi lage bhalo means nothing appeals to me. In the previous song, he was talking about how, um, aderer chele, sojaner kole, hasya katanukala, janaka janni, snehete bhulia, sangsara lagilo. Smothered affection by my family members, sitting on their laps and laughing. I wasted time. I forgot everything in my parents' fondness for me. And worldly life struck me as quite appealing. So from the very beginning of his life, Sangsara lagilo bhalo. I thought I really like this material world. I like all these things here, and the whole world was appealing to me. But now, in old age, vardake ekon shaktir abhave. Now in old age, devoid of any strength or energy, kichu nahi lagi bhalo. Now nothing appeals to me. I find no satisfaction in anything. Jivana jatana. Life, jivan is jatana. Life equals suffering, torment. Hoilo ekon. It's become like that now. She vidya, that knowledge, avidya bhelo, has become avidya. That all my learning has proven to be ignorance. She vidya, avidya bhelo. Avidyāra Vilāse. The jwala means the burning, the intense burning, searing agony. Ghatilo visham. Visham means like this intense, terrible suffering, burning. Jwala means burning of a vidya. That vidya has become a dagger. Shelo means a dagger. She vidya hoilo shelo. That vidya has become a dagger in my heart. Okay, here it said ghatilo. Ghatilo means become, visham, intolerable. So the searing agony of that ignorance has become intolerable. That supposed knowledge has become a dagger in my heart. And now, tomar charan vina kichu dhan sangsare na ache ar. Apart from your feet, that's tomar charan vina, that means apart from your feet, there's any kichu dhan, any wealth, sangsara na ache ar. There is no such thing in this material world. Apart from your feet, there is nothing of value within this material existence. Bhakti vinod jara vidya chari tua pada kore sar. This Bhakti vinod, jara vidya charya, having given up any kind of materialistic knowledge, he has made tua pada kore sar. He has made your feet his everything, his all in all, the very essence of his everything. Tua pada kore sar. Now that he's realized that there's nothing of value within this material world other than your feet. So I'm giving up all this worldly knowledge and I'm making your feet my all in all. So that's a basic breakdown of the meaning of the words in this song. I very quickly went through Haribol Jiva Pavana Prabhu Dandavat Pranams. I very quickly went through Veda base, not Veda base, Bhakti base, and I found some quotes here on the topic of what is Vidya and what is Avidya. But I haven't gone through them nicely. They're just like very quick. But I don't know. I just thought maybe it would be nice to go through this. Let me just I'm going to fix the diacritics. This takes 1 second. Balaram, oops. If you ever need to fix diacritics, you can get it on Vedabase.io. They have this converter there. You just put it in, and boom. Now all the diacritics are fixed. Okay. New document. Okay, here. Just pasting this in. So what is real Vidya and Gyan? Any kind of knowledge that, like, the ultimate limit of knowledge devoid of bhakti here is that we just understand that um, everything in this world is temporary, and that all these designations that I have about myself, anything that I think about myself, that I'm Madhukar and I was born in America, and anything that I think about myself, and I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. Every kind of designation that we have about ourselves is actually just false. It's temporary, it's not actually who we are. And this whole material world, everything is temporary. And so the limit of knowledge that we can come to that's without bhakti is just understanding that it's like this impersonal knowledge. And through a lot of effort, um, through a lot of effort on this path of gyan, you can come to that stage where you shed all this material understanding and everything, but there's nothing positive there. And so um, that's the limit that gyan can take you without bhakti. And so I just went through and found these from different places. Um, I don't know which ones I should read, but what is vidya actually mean? And what is avidya? Okay, let's look at this from in Bhajan Rahasya in chapter 1, text 21. It says, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in Srimad Bhagavatam 4:29-49, it is stated, Sa vidya tan matir yaya. Knowledge is that by which one's attention is concentrated upon Bhagavan. That's real knowledge. That's what real vidya is. When one's mati, when one's attention, one's mind is tan, is on the Lord, is on He, that Supreme Lord. Yaya means by which. So that knowledge by which one's mati is on tan, is on tat, is on He, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jai Shakti te Krishna kore, sorry, Jai Shakti te Krishna kore udbhavan, Vidya nama she kore avidya khandan, Krishna nam she vidya vadur jivan, Krishna para parma je koro istiraman. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, um, so that Shakti, Jai Shakti means by that Shakti um, which Udbhavan means brings about, makes arise Krishna, like one's mind to be fixed on Krishna, then Vidya Name She Kore Avidya. So that's known by the name Vidya. And this Vidya, She Kore Avidya Khandan, it completely destroys Avidya. Vidya destroys Avidya. And Krishna Nam, the name of Krishna is She Vidya Vadhur Jivan. The name of Krishna is the very life of this Vidya Vadhu, of this life who is the beloved consort, the bride of Krishnanam. So, Krishna Paraparmi Je Koroi Sthiraman. So this Krishnanam, who is the consort of this Vidya, the very life of this Vidya, completely fixes one's mind on the feet, on the lotus feet of Krishna. So then in my Gurudev, he explains how Bhagavan has only one potency, one Shakti. And that Shakti has two functions. There's knowledge, Vidya, and ignorance, avidya. Yoga Maya is knowledge, and Mahamaya is ignorance. Mahamaya is responsible for the creation of the material world, and she covers the living entity's eternal identity and inherent qualities. The word vidya is derived from the verbal root vid, which means to know or to understand. In other words, vidya is that through which one can know service to Krishna. Right? Because our nature, the topmost, like the supreme quality of the jiva is that is Sundar Gopal was teaching us, like in this Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is this sheshatva. This is the topmost, um, what do you say, attribute of the soul, is that I'm a servant of Krishna. And and so vidya is that through which one can know service to Krishna. When Shuddha Bhakti arises in the heart of the sadhak by his continuous performance of hearing and chanting, at that time, Bhakti Devi removes his ignorance and dispels all desires other than to attain the service of Bhagavan. By the Vidya Vritti, that's the function of knowledge, she destroys the jiva's coverings in the form of his gross and subtle bodies, and simultaneously manifests his pure spiritual body according to his inherent nature, according to his swarup. The life of this transcendental knowledge, the life, the life of this vidya, transcendental knowledge, which is compared to a wife, is the holy name of Krishna. This vidya fixes a person's mind at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this vidya Krishna para parma je koroye stirman. Stirman koroye. Man stir koraye. That means this name and his wife was this name, which is the life of this, though it's his consort, Vidya, fixes the mind, makes the mind completely steady and fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna paraparamaje koroye stirman. This Vidya fixes a person's mind at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Rai Ramananda. So Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kohe, the Lord Mahaprabhu said, Kon Vidya Vidya Madhyasar, which is the most important of all types of knowledge. And then Rai kohe, Ramananda Rai responded, Krishna Bhakti Vina Vidya Nahi Ar. Except for Krishna Bhakti, no other there is no other such thing as Vidya. So Mahaprabhu is saying, what is the essence of all knowledge? And Ramananda Rai says, there's no such thing as Vidya other than Krishna Bhakti. Anything else is not actual knowledge. So that was from my Guru Dev's commentary on Bhajanahasya. And this is from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Bhakti Tattva Vivek. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he says, though the cultivation of knowledge, Gyan, can dispel ignorance to some extent, without taking shelter of bhakti, a sadhak will certainly fall down. So there's this famous verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yanyera Vindaksha Vimuktamaninas Tvayasta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhaya Aruhya Kritrena Parang Padang Tata Patantedo Na Dhrita Yushmarangraya. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:2-32. So the demigods, they prayed, O lotus-eyed Lord, although by the cultivation of neti, that's the negativity principle, it's not this, it's not that, it's not this, it's not that. No, I'm not this material body. I'm not this mind. I'm not this. This is not reality and all that. So the process of just negating everything that is not true, or like temporary. So, um, so by cultivating this neti, non-devotees endeavor to attain something different from dull matter, and they consider themselves liberated. But their intelligence is impure. With great difficulty, they cross the ocean of nescience to attain the stage of Brahman, impersonal Brahman. But because they have not taken permanent shelter of your lotus feet, they fall down from such a stage. That's what the demigods prayed. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, O intimate devotees, having surely heard the word avidya before, you must be eager to know its intrinsic nature. What is the intrinsic nature of avidya, ignorance? Therefore, I will explain a few points in this regard. Shri Krishna possesses unlimited varieties of potencies, unlimited shaktis. Amongst them, Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Maya Shakti are prominent. Chit Shakti displays Bhagavan's abode, Bhagavan's dham, and all the paraphernalia necessary for his pastimes, for his lila. Another name for Chit Shakti is Swarup Shakti. So that's one, there's a Chit Shakti. Then the next is Jiva Shakti, produces innumerable living entities. By nature, jivas are purely spiritual, they are Chit Tattva. But due to their incomplete constitution, they can be trapped by Maya, the illusory energy. By harboring selfish desires, they become opposed to Krishna, and they are trapped by the illusory energy. And by desiring to become disposed towards Krishna, they are freed from Maya and engage in a service. This is the difference between conditioned and liberated jivas. That's all. As simple as that. The illusory energy acts in two ways upon the intrinsic nature of the conditioned living entity. Through the avidya potency and through the vidya potency. Through its avidya aspect, the avidya aspect of Maya, Maya covers the constitutional pure ego of the living entity, thus creating a false or distorted ego by which the jiva identifies himself with gross matter. This shackle of ignorance is the cause of the jiva's conditioned state. Becoming free from avidya and devoid of false designations, the living entity attains the stage of liberation. Thus, avidya is nothing more than a special potency of Maya that makes the living entity forget his constitutional position, and ignorance causes a desire for fruit of activity in the jiva. These desires initiates the process of sin and piety. This ignorance is the root cause of all the difficulty experienced by the jiva. So this avidya is the root cause of all the difficulty experienced by the jiva. Right? There's the pancha klesh, the 5 forms of misery. And what's the very first one of that? Is avidya, this ignorance. And after that comes asmita, this false identification with, this I and mine. And then avidya asmita, then rag, extreme attachment to all the things of this world, to my own thoughts, to everything, this extreme attachment. And then avidya, asmita, rag, and then dvesh, and then disgust and hatred towards things that I don't like, and are getting frustrated with, all my unsuccessful attempts at enjoying, and this dvesh, hatred, and and then abhinivesh, complete absorption in the mundane world. These are the five forms of klesh, of suffering of the jiva, but it begins with avidya. This is the root cause of all the difficulty experienced by the jiva. Besides bhakti, and that's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Avidyara jval ghatilo vishvam, right? In this song. What does he say? This, where is it? Here. So this is actual suffering. Jivana jatana. Why? This life is a torment now because of this avidya. This all my learning, all this knowledge, avidya bhelo, is proven to be ignorance. Avidyara jvala. Now the searing agony of this avidya, of that ignorance, has become ghatilo visham, has become intolerable. That vidya, that so-called vidya, hoilo shilo, has become a dagger in my heart. So this ignorance is the root cause of all the difficulty experienced by the jiva. And that's the sad thing, is that I don't realize that this avidya is searing agony. I think I like it. I like this ignorance. It hasn't become intolerable for me. But as you make progress on the path of bhakti, as you start to realize you start to understand the reality, you start to get some taste of the knowledge of your relationship, that, oh, actually I am a servant of the Lord, then everything, all knowledge, everything that you think of this world, all your ignorance, that becomes it becomes agony for you. It becomes the most burning suffering, like, oh my God. And so besides bhakti, no other process is capable of eliminating this ignorance. Karma can only destroy sins, and Gyan can destroy at the root the desires that cause both sin and piety. But bhakti totally eradicates at the root the sins themselves. It eradicates at the root the sins themselves, and also the desire to perform both sin and piety, and the prime cause of all desires, ignorance. All these desires, that's the prime cause of all these desires, ignorance. It destroys those three things. It destroys the sins themselves, that's pap. It destroys pap, bij, that's the desires to perform these sins, and avidya, ignorance. That's the prime cause of all these desires. So that was from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Bhakti Tattva Vivek. And let's skip this one, because it's basically saying the same thing. Let's look at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sanmodan Bhashya. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on Shikshashtakam. So this is how he explains Vidya Vadu Jivanam. That this Krishna Nam Sankirtan, it is the life of all transcendental knowledge, which is like a bride. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, this is his Sanskrit commentary on Shikshashtakam. He says, a question may be raised here. When will those who have already attained unalloyed devotion obtain their pure spiritual forms? In reply to this question, Sri Shachinandan Gaurachandra says, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. Sankirtan is the life of transcendental knowledge. In reality, Bhagavan has but one potency. Its two functions are Vidya and Avidya. That's knowledge and ignorance. The Lord's internal potency, known as Yogamaya Swarup Shakti, is called Vidya. The external potency, or Mahamaya, which is responsible for the creation of the material world and which covers the original spiritual form of the living entity and also the qualities associated with that form, is called Avidya. When unalloyed devotion arises in the heart of the sadhak by continual practice of hearing and chanting, then Bhakti Devi, who dispels all desires other than that for the service of the Lord, she removes this avidya. Bhakti Devi removes this avidya. Why? Because she dispels all, Bhakti Devi is the one who dispels all desires other than that for the service to the Lord. So she removes this avidya. By the function of the knowledge potency, the Vidya Vritti, Bhakti Devi destroys the gross and subtle bodies of the living entity. Simultaneously, Bhakti Devi manifests the original pure spiritual form of the jiva to the extent that one receives the purely spiritual form. Let me say that again. Bhakti Devi manifests the original pure spiritual form of the jiva to the extent one receives the purely spiritual form of a gopi, if, by qualification, one is fit to taste madhurya ras, the mellow of amorous love. So if one is fit, then she'll, Bhakti Devi, she will make that manifest, one's spiritual form as a gopi. But one may attain a form in any of the 5 transcendental relationships of Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or Madhurya in accordance with one's eligibility, or in other words, in accordance with the Sthāyi Bhav, one's eternal and dominant devotional sentiment. So thus, it is proved that Sri Krishna Kirtan is the life of all transcendental knowledge that has been compared to a vadhu, a wife or consort. The internal potencies being compared to Sri Krishna's consort is especially notable in the context of the description of his sportive, amorous pastimes, known as Vidyāra Vilāse. That's interesting. Let's just reread that last sentence. The internal potencies being compared to Sri Krishna's consort is especially notable in context of the description of his sportive, amorous pastimes, known as Vidyāra Vilāse. So there's a hint in there. There's like a little hint in that first verse of Shikshashtakam. Why is it Vidya Vadu Jivanam? It's hinting at this Krishna's Lila Vilas, his amorous loving pastimes with the gopis, who are his real beloveds. So that's the topmost form of knowledge. And isn't it in Shikshashtakam, in the first verse, Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. They all relate, for the sadhak, they relate to the different stages of practice. And so first, there's Cheto Darpanamarjanam, removing all the impurities of the heart, on the mirror of the heart. And then Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, putting out the great burning fire of material existence. But so far, all these things are just, removing all the negative things, but there's nothing positive yet. Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. And then finally, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. This is now Shreya Kairava Chandrika. All this up to Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam is bringing you up to the stage of Nishta. Once you perform your practices and you're making progress, then and you're removing all these anarthas and like that after performing this bhajana kriya, then you'll come to the stage of nishta where you're fixed and steady, determined. Nothing can make you waver, and then all this bhava mahadavagni nirvapana becomes extinguished. The burning of this material existence is now not so burning anymore. You have shelter of nam and you're fixed on it. So now you get some relief from all this suffering as Cheto Darpana Marjanam happens, as these anarthas are being removed. Then this burning and suffering of material existence now is, put out. But it's still, that's all negative. What about the positive things? So then, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Then this Krishnanam Sankirtan is like a moonbeam upon the lotus of the white lily, or the white lotus of the heart, which causes it to bloom. And so now this is ruchi. Ruchis, now you're starting, now it's not just putting out all the negative stuff and you're fixed, but now you're actually starting to get some taste. And like, wow, there's so much nectar in this name. And like, you can't stop chanting it. And now it's relishable. And, and, um, and at this stage, na dhanam, na janam, na sundaram, now I don't want any wealth, followers, any attainment of this world. Everything in this world becomes completely unappealing to you, right? And so that's when this Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya. And then comes Vidyavadu Jivanam. Now this name is the very life and soul of the consort knowledge, or this Vidya Devi. And this is the stage of Asakti. And it's at this stage of Asakti that you first begin to understand really who you are. You start to get some glimpse of your Swarup, of your eternal nature, and your particular relationship with Krishna, and your qualities. You're just starting to get the first glimpse of that. And so and why is that? Because this Vidya is what makes you realize who you truly are. Avidya is what covers who we truly are, and Vidya is what reveals that. So because this name is the wife, is the life of the wife of knowledge, this Vidya, so now we're coming to the stage of Asakti and we're understanding what is my true nature. Not just that I'm a servant of Krishna, but like starting to get like more specific, like what is my form? What is my, like that, more specific. And then comes Anandam Buddhivardhanam. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. Then this ocean, once you've come to the stage of Asakti, then very quickly this ocean of bliss will start to expand, and we come to the stage of Bhav, and all these outer symptoms of Bhav will become manifest, and then Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Then and at every step, there's just complete nectar and juice, and those are the inner symptoms of Bhav. So there's outer symptoms and inner symptoms, and that's when now you fully understand. Now it's Asakti is like this Vidya was starting to reveal who you truly are, and now at the stage of Bhav, now you fully understand what is my name, form, qualities, the Ekadasha Bhavs, all these different things are fully revealed to you. Um, but it's all internal. You still have this material body, and then it's at pratipadam. No, sorry. Then it's at sarvatma snapanam. Then this Krishna's nam completely washes away this material body. Sarvatma snapanam, fully inside, outside, everything, and it destroys this material body. So then no more material body. Then you take birth from the womb of a gopi, and it's at that point that you have attained prem, because prem can't be contained within this material body. So, but that's real vidya that reveals who we really are. So, and so once we come to that understanding, then all the avidya of this world, we realize, oh my God, it is burning. It's terrible. It's the cause of this has been the cause of all my suffering all this time. Like we really realize it. And you actually feel the burning of the avidya. Right now, I feel like ignorance is bliss. But once you get true vidya, then you realize, oh my God, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is the greatest form of suffering. This is the root cause of all my suffering. So that we learn all that. And so this song, Vidyāra Vilāse by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is his realization of this and his calling out in humility and to the Lord. That, okay, I now understand. Now I realize that nothing, tomar charan bina kichu dhanan, sangsare na ache ar. There's nothing of value within this world other than your lotus feet. So, Jara Vidyachari, I'm giving up all this mundane knowledge and all that, and tua para koresar, and I'm making your feet my all in all. So that is, yeah, Jai. All right, that's our program for today. And tomorrow we're going to be going through the song Jovane Jokon. It's a very intense song. So far, like out of the two songs that we've gone through, this one is the most intense. This one that we're going to go through tomorrow, Jovane Jokon. But we'll get there tomorrow. Right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Haribo, Nitai Gaur, Haribo, Nitai Gaur, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur, Haribo. It's a really nice meditation when we chant Harinam, that this name is the life of the name's consort, Vidya Devi. And so when I'm chanting, then this Vidya Devi is coming to life and is revealing to me who I truly am and what is my relationship with Krishna, who Krishna is, and my particular relationship with him, and all these things. This is all happens through Harinam. Harinam brings Vidya to life. All right. So Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shila Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapar Shachi Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Jai Shila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, all his Śaraṇāgati songs Ki Jai, Jai Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Jai Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Jai Shri the pure Vidya Yoga Maya ki Jai. Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. The Vidyavadu Jivan Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Gokuleshwari Didi. Gokuleshwari Didi is asking, is it possible for me to share the link to the article? All those things that we're just reading now, yeah, they're just I can put the Word doc in the group. They're just I quickly went through Bhakti Base and I copied and pasted some things. I was like, oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. I think probably a lot of it's there's some repetition there and all that. I didn't go through it quickly. I mean, I went through it quickly. So and we read like half of what I pasted onto the document. But I'll just put that Word document in the WhatsApp group. Let me see who is on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat pranams, Ganga Mataji, Vrajakishori Mataji, Pramila Didi, Valade Prabhu, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, Dandavat pranams Prabhu, and Dinesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and Shash Sharma ji, and everybody else, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, whoever else is there, and all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayade Prabhu, Krishna Vallabha Didi, Ananda Pradayani Didi, Anuradha Mataji, Vrinda Didi, Krishna Mai Didi, Madan Gopal Prabhu, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow to go. Oh, wait. Tomorrow is Shivas Thakur's appearance day, right? Let me just, oh shoot, I don't have it. I think it's the 11th. Hopefully it's not the 10th. I haven't been able to prepare the calendar because I haven't gotten the Bengali calendar yet. So I think it's tomorrow though. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. So tomorrow we will have a special program in honor of Srivas Thakur, and then the day after tomorrow we will continue on with our Bhaktivinoda Kitithara program. I should double check really quickly. Let's see, bbtirtha.org. They have a nice calendar there. 11th. Yes, it's the 11th. Okay, great. The appearance of Srivas Pandit. Ashtami. All right. Yeah, so see you all tomorrow to celebrate Srivas Thakur's appearance day. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? Okay, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for joining. See you all tomorrow.